But oh wait, no, I had a baby in 2022. Wait.
Me not remembering.
Wait, yes, I did. There's one scene they might have shown with my kids in class with me because I like physically brought them to class.
And that was real?
Yeah, no, that was real because I didn't have a babysitter.
Because then they're getting like an education too where they're like paying attention. You know what I mean? Like they have to pay tuition.
Her name is Trish, she's got the dish and all the gossip's filthy rich, pretty and pink, hot topic queen, and says what everybody thinks, she's just Trish.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Just Trish podcast today. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for today's guest. I have been watching her for probably like 14, 13, so long. You guys know her as a teen mom, but now she's just a mega influencer and full-on celebrity, doing red carpets and also skinny queen. Kail, Lowry.
Hey Trish.
How are you? You look great. I love that you're like, I can do this now because I'm skinny. You like
skinny,
folded
yeah.
your like.
Oh yeah. I used
so
to not be able
jealous.
to do that because
I
my
can't
legs
either.
were so big that I couldn't
Be tiny. I always say that. I'm like, how can I be as tiny as possible? But I definitely can't be.
Well, no,
Yeah.
you just had a baby.
You look great. Yeah, so did you.
And we match.
On
I'm
purpose.
obsessed.
You're like, we match. I'm like, it was on purpose. I never wear my hair up just for you.
I love that. And it looks great.
It's
and
your signature look.
I almost wore these same exact shoes. I brought them to LA with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we could have been exact ones. I did see it on. I did see you wear these before, so that's why.
You're like, I really, really checked your Instagram.
I did. I was like, how do I cosplay you?
I mean, how would you?
The bun is very iconic right now because this is your look. You said you also copy looks, but I'm like, I feel like your style is so unique to you.
Oh.
But maybe you just took like different looks and it all became your style.
I actually told the stylist that I hired for yesterday's event, I was like, hey, can you come to Delaware and like actually give me a style? And she was like, yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so I've had stylists like 3 times on like magazine shoots, but I've never hired one. What does that like entail?
So you just hire them. They go shopping for you. You send like your measurements and stuff. And then they come with like a rack full of that you can I curse on this?
Yeah, go for it.
And you just try everything on, put the pieces together, the whole nine. They bring the jewelry, the bag, the everything.
Oh my gosh. And then
Yeah.
this sounds so silly. Do you keep it or do you like give it back or how does it work?
You can do any. So I kept most of it.
Oh, I see.
But then you can also, like, I gave the bag back.
Okay, so they'll go like rent stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what their process is,
Okay.
but like I gave the bag back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna definitely keep everything else because it fit nicely. You know what I mean?
That's the hardest thing to find is like clothes that fit. Like everything I have is Fashion Nova because that's the only thing that fits me. So I love them, but I also like would love other things too.
Yeah, for sure. And I need basics. I don't have any basics.
Yeah, and to find a style is just hard.
Yeah.
But I feel like your style is like unique because I was like looking and I'm like, you're not showing any of your tattoos today, but normally you're showing like your tattoos and it's wild. It's so cool. I watched you for so long. So, okay, right before we started, you're like, we're the same age. And I was like, there's no way.
How old are you?
I'm 36. You're a little younger.
Oh, okay, I'm 32.
Okay, much younger. That's what I thought. Because I was like, wait, no, we're not the same age.
I don't know why I thought you were my same age.
I remember when the first 16 and Pregnant came out and I was like too old to be on it. So I was like 18 or something at the time when the first one.
Would you have wanted to be on it?
Yeah, I would have wanted to be on anything. Which is what my question I was going to ask you. Did you watch the first 16 and Pregnant?
So I was pregnant when the first 16 and Pregnant was airing.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, the first season. Because I was season 2.
Right, but how did that work then? So were you just casted before you even saw the show?
No, so I had seen the first season. It was like Macy, Caitlin, Farrah.
Yes.
I was already pregnant, like early pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so then I just like wrote them a little email and whatever, and then a couple weeks later they contacted me and I was like, what the like, there's no way I'm getting picked for this.
Whoa.
And then I did.
Okay, so you were already pregnant. I was wondering if like people saw that show and be like, oh, I should get pregnant to be on the show. Because I would have at 16. I'd been like, oh, hell yeah, you know. I wanted to be pregnant at 16, but didn't work
Did
out.
you?
Yeah, I think I wanted to be pregnant my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah, like from
Okay.
early age. And probably at 16, I didn't know. I was like listening to a recent podcast you did where you're like, I didn't know how sex worked, and I didn't either. I didn't know what sex was.
No, we were just doing it.
Yeah, I wasn't yet. But
Okay.
I mean, I would have though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think I probably would have, but I just didn't know what it was. And I thought like you have sex, like Mean Girls, you have sex, you like get pregnant right away. You know, I didn't know how it worked. Is that what happened with you?
Sort of thought that, but
Yeah.
I don't really know what the fuck happened. I was just like doing it because all my friends were like, one specific friend was doing it, and she's like, you have to do it, and I was like, okay, I have to do it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it was outside on a sidewalk.
The first time you had sex? Oh my god.
Well, so it wasn't it was a sidewalk, but it was behind the building. So it like wasn't
Okay.
on like the street facing sidewalk. It was
yeah.
like behind the building. So like people couldn't see me. But like all my friends were there.
Watching?
No.
What do you
They were in the front of the building.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna go back and do this real quick.
Yeah. So he like took his shirt off and like laid it down for me.
Oh my God, that's kind of romantic.
So romantic. Yeah.
I think as a teenager, that's kind of romantic, right? Because where else are you gonna do it? You know?
We were 14.
Is it with Joe?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
So, oh, okay.
It was a different John because his real name is Jonathan, but it was like my first like real boyfriend named Jonathan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't have any boyfriends or anything, so I didn't know. Obviously, I had no one to have sex with, but like it was so interesting. And did you know how pregnancy worked back then?
Not really. I didn't even know like what was going on. Like when we laid down ish, I didn't know like what was going to happen.
Yeah, it's so scary.
He was like doing it. You know what I mean?
He knew at 14?
Oh yeah. I think he had better parents than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they like actually gave them the talk, which is what I love about you. You're talking about how you already talk to your boys about it, which I am always. My kids are young, but I'm always just like I never had a talk, and it's like, how do you talk to them?
It's weird. I definitely will say that like health class is good because it's like a little bring it up in health class and then they come home and tell me what they learned. Specifically my oldest, right? Like he's 14. So he's way better of a human being than I am because he's not having sex. And I'm just so proud of him because I was doing awful things at 14.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because I feel like I didn't know people were having sex at that age. And then you hear about that. I'm just like, wow, how do they even know what to do or how to do it? Yeah. And he has like, so you talked to him about it and he's like very open to hearing it and stuff. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, school helps, I feel.
Yeah, because I know when I heard you talking too about, you were saying that the public school system just taught you about STDs but not pregnancies.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how ours was too, where they didn't tell you like how you got pregnant. It was just like, don't get STDs. And I was like, what?
And I think I remember seeing a picture of like, I don't know, it might have been like gonorrhea or something. And that was it. Like, that's what I remember.
You saw the picture of it?
Yeah, it was like in the textbook.
Oh, we didn't have that.
Oh.
Yeah, we never saw pictures.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I saw like one. And I was like, okay, this
never get that.
Don't get that, but pregnancy's fine, I guess. I don't know.
I think it probably, I don't know. Pregnancy or STD, I'm not sure. Back at that age. I guess I would have wanted pregnancy because that's what I wanted, but maybe then you have a kid for life.
So how... It's kind of personal.
No,
like when did you lose your virginity?
I'm asking you so many personal questions. Consensually at 18. Yeah.
Okay,
I think before then I didn't really know what was happening or like it wasn't full on sex, but I definitely had stuff happen before. But yeah, I guess consensually 18, but it was more just to like get it over with.
Okay.
And I didn't know either. I didn't know.
Wasn't a boyfriend.
No, it was just like someone who was like he was like a bit actor on Full House, and I was like, ooh, this is like a celebrity. I was really into celebrities back then, and I thought like, oh, I'll just get pregnant by a celebrity, and that was like my goal, you know?
Yeah.
Weird goal, but anyways, but I'm so fascinated because I did love 16 Pregnant and Teen Mom. So you did 16 and Pregnant, and your episode just does really well, and then they just call you back and we're like, we're doing Teen Mom. Do you want to be on this?
I still don't know what the selection process was for that. I know I was the season finale of 16 and Pregnant, season 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's all I know. And then I remember being in Victoria's Secret and I got a call and they were like, hey, we're going to do Teen Mom. Do you want to be on it? I don't know what the selection process was. Like why my story compared to, because there was 10 girls on 16 and Pregnant my season. And I was the last one. I don't know what the selection process was.
Interesting. I wonder, because you had such a cast of characters, meaning like your family was on it, like his family was on it. So maybe because they were all like willing, you guys kind of you could have had your own reality show, really.
True. Okay, that makes sense.
You know, I mean, because your story is just so interesting, and the fact that there were so many characters involved. I thought your story was like the most interesting because you're like living with your boyfriend's parents, Joe.
Yeah.
And do you still talk to them? Are you still like close with?
No,
not at all.
No.
And they don't have any interest in being on reality TV anymore. They're not on Teen Mom with you.
I left Teen Mom in 2022.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't it just come back, or the first one came back? The second one, Teen Mom.
Wait, back where? Because I don't get royalties, so I don't know.
Wait, what?
No, we don't get any royalties.
What does that mean? So they can just air it forever and you don't get paid?
No, we don't get paid.
You get paid like a flat fee or something for it?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, that's
so it went to Netflix, and my face was like the cover photo for when it came back to Netflix, and then I think it's on other streaming platforms, but we don't get paid for that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I guess that's a new thing, right? Like streaming, because maybe back then like they didn't have that figured out in your contract.
But we could have put something in there about reruns.
And did you have like an agent or something representing you?
Absolutely not.
So it's just you. When you signed on Teen Mom, were you like 18 at this point? When you did
I was 17.
17. So you gave birth at 17, then you get signed on right away for Teen Mom.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
How's that? And so is your mom like signing over with you? Like is she?
My mom signed over custody to Joe's parents.
Oh my God, I didn't know.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was like I don't really remember that part. I don't know who signed on my behalf, but some adult signed on my behalf, whether it was my mom or Joe's mom.
Oh my gosh. But you were like down. You were like wanting to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was like, I need this $5,000. Like this will change my life.
Wow. And so it was $5,000 for the season or for the episode?
For the episode. That one 16 and pregnant episode.
Oh, that's actually
before
good.
Taxes.
Right.
You're like,
you get
hold
the
on.
taxes. Yeah.
Hang on.
I remember applying to MTV like years before 16 and Pregnant. It was like Made or Becoming. It was like those shows. And they were like $100 they were offering. And I was like,
shut up.
Yeah, but even then I was like,
I'll take it.
Yeah,
You're
to
like,
be on
whatever.
TV.
Yeah.
Especially MTV, because especially during that time, it wasn't like streaming now where there's like so many shows. Like that was like a main show on MTV. And it still is. So how many seasons of Teen Mom did you do? 4?
12, 14.
Oh my
seasons.
Gosh.
14 seasons, I think.
So
maybe
every
more.
year you're filming for Teen Mom.
Some years we did 2 seasons in 1 year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think I think I was on TV for 13 years. I think we filmed 14 seasons maybe.
Oh my, and Teen
Total?
Mom 2 is like not film. You left. It's still filming.
So Teen Mom, there was Teen Mom.
Right.
And then there was Teen Mom 2.
Right.
And like this is no shade to the Teen Mom OG cast.
Yeah.
Like no shade at all. I think Teen Mom 2 was more successful because it was, I think Teen Mom OG was like more of like testing the water.
Right.
So they got canceled for some time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 years maybe.
Yeah.
Teen Mom 2 was still on the air. And so then eventually, around the time I left, they ended up merging the shows. So they ended up bringing the OG cast back.
Oh, okay. So they're all mixed right now.
Yeah, they're all mixed. I think even some of the like Young and Pregnant Girls and Teen Mom 3, because then they started adding cast members to the Teen Mom OG and Teen Mom 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I left in 2022 and I got pregnant with my 5th son because I was like, I can't, like, we're not doing this.
Oh my God. What was the reason for leaving?
There was like a lot of reasons. I think one, it was like Elijah hadn't been on TV. It was like we did not plan to get pregnant. It was like the first time I slept with him. So like also that, and we just like developed a relationship. So I was like, this is just a lot for one person. And so I was just like between that, and I think I was ready. My podcast became super successful. That I was making more money on the podcast than I was on Teen Mom. So I couldn't justify the stress that I was going through for Teen Mom. And I felt like I would give them this laundry list of things that I wanted to film, but they only wanted to talk about the relationships that I had with their dads, like my kids' dads. And that's old and tired, right?
Yeah.
Like I have other drama. I can give you drama. I'll do whatever you want, but like, let's talk about it.
Right. And they weren't willing to listen.
No.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I did see the clip where you're talking to like a producer. I liked when they broke the fourth wall and you could see like producers because it's just like all the teen moms just so mad at all of them.
Yeah.
Which rightfully so. It's why I've never done like reality TV because the little bit that I've done, it's like they just make you feel crazy. They just like take advantage, push, make you feel crazy. And then when you like snap, they're like surprised. Like, what?
No, literally you get it. Because I don't know how to explain it that way, but you just literally, that's exactly what it was. Because I'm like, I have so much to like offer here and I wanted to dive deep into like my past and stuff.
Yeah.
They weren't having it.
That is so weird.
And I'm like, there's so much trauma. Like y'all would love it.
And that's what people do want to see, I feel. Especially nowadays with like mental health and everyone talking about obviously the Menendez brothers, all these things. It's like people are like chiming in now and being like, actually, I felt this way too. Where people have like empathy. Yeah. That's so interesting, especially since they bring on Dr. Drew for the reunions. Like, why not have like expand into that?
Isn't that weird? I thought that was so weird.
So
whatever.
odd.
I'm under contract somewhere else anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Is it a reality show or
I think
something?
so.
Oh my gosh. So you can do your own.
Yeah. Hopefully. If someone buys it, somebody buy my show.
Oh, I think everything you've explained is such a reality show, especially the stuff with like Elijah. I'm just like, whoa, wait. Like,
well, so and I don't know if Moses ever is like wanting to be on TV.
Like it's not his desire, but I think if I was like, would you? Maybe.
Elijah's the same way. And I think that his personality and like he doesn't express anything on his face. So like when he's happy, he's like this.
Yes.
And so I think it looks like there's rumors that like I hold him hostage and stuff. And
Same.
so
That's us too. They're like, he hates her.
I'm like, I don't know if he should be on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it would be good or bad. So we'll see.
I think it's so good for like the controversy of it all, right? Because you know your relationship, but it's always so funny to hear like outside perspectives of it.
When I read the hostage one, I was like, am I holding you hostage? Like, I felt crazy. I'm like, do you want to be here? Like, do you?
I know. The internet will gaslight you.
Oh, my God.
That's
I feel
me
insane.
every time. Yeah, they're always just like, nobody wants to be around Trisha. And I was just like, oh, okay, but I'm just used to it. I think they just say that to every girl. I really do think they say that because I see that all the time with people. That's so interesting. Yeah. So how long have you guys been together, you and Elijah?
2.5, 3 years, something like that.
Are you engaged?
Yeah, I don't have the ring because a stone fell out of it.
Okay.
On the side, yeah. So I was a little upset. So I didn't wear it to LA because I was like, I don't want people to be like, you're a fraud. You know what I mean?
Oh no! Even when I go into LA, I switch my ring. I have like a fake one that looks like this too, so I switch it. So I wear the real one here, and then I switch it because LA, we love it, but also it can be a little sketch.
I should wear like a replacement because it's gonna get fixed, but I don't have it on. But yes.
So you're engaged.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And you've only been married once.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm so shocked. 'Cause I thought like you would be the person to be like never getting married again.
Oh, I've said that.
Yeah,
you've definitely. If you like Google my name, I've
Yes.
definitely gone back and forth. Like, yes, I want to get married. No, I don't. Elijah has also been married before.
Okay,
and he's significantly younger than me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't think we want to do this like big glitz and glam wedding again because we've both already done that. So I want to do it like more intimate. But it hasn't been the right timing. We're gonna get married in September, and then I was like, September doesn't have any events for like our family, so like we got to make something there, or April is another like possibility because we have something in every other month, so I want to like celebrate every single month of the year.
Oh, I see. Because like with all your kids, you probably have all different birthdays.
Yeah,
how
and,
exciting!
Like all the holidays and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, let's just do like September or April. So maybe April. We'll see.
April's a good one. I feel like April's good because it's like spring. Although I love September too because it gets into like fall.
No, well, my ex-husband, we were married in September, so I feel like it's almost like we need to move it to April.
That's a good idea. Good idea because
like, we don't need any bad juju, you know?
Yeah. Wow. So you're gonna get married again, which is like
my ring isn't as big as yours though.
Well, this is
so I might take a picture of it and be like, hey, give me up.
You know what's a good? I always say this is if you get like a wholesale diamond, like don't go to like Tiffany's or like Cartier. Like if you get a wholesale like jeweler, they have them in like downtown LA. They can get you like nice big diamonds that aren't like as expensive as like a clear cut Cartier. That's what it is because it's not Cartier. We just like wholesale, but I do love it.
I love that. And the cut is stunning. So good.
Thank you. Yeah, I always just wanted to get married for like the ring because honestly, I do. I do love a marriage, but also like it doesn't change too much, right?
Yeah.
You kind of think about it like after we got married, it's kind of like it kind of feels the same.
Yeah, like you guys are in love, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I guess I like the commitment part of it. I also like the part if I'm dying, he can like make a decision for me or something.
Or like you get alimony.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Just in case.
Just in case.
Moses is rolling his eyes in the background. He's like, her, she's not coming back.
Did you have to do that?
I waived the alimony for my first divorce. I was like, I won't take your pension, anything like that. Because I was like, I just want my house. Because we had two houses at the time. So I was like, you take the smaller one and I'll take the bigger one. I was already living in the bigger one.
So you just split it.
He wanted to take me for the bigger one. And I was like, I don't think that's, you know what I mean? But I'm like, waiving your pension, waiving your alimony, waiving all of that.
Oh, would he have to pay? I thought you had to pay him.
No, he'd have to pay me.
Does he make, but you probably make more money, no?
I think Delaware is a no-fault state, so it doesn't, I think it's like a no, I'm not a lawyer.
I know, same. Honestly, I don't know
Whatever.
either.
I just know that I waived it. Like, it was an option for my lawyer to fight for those things, and I was like, no. Like, I just want this to be seamless. You know what I mean?
God, it sounds so complicated. Divorce
Don't do
it.
Yeah, don't do it.
I know. I kind of felt that way. I was like, if there's ever issues, I'm like, I guess he could just stay down here and I'd be upstairs and we just stay married because it just seems hard to divorce.
It actually costs more than the wedding.
I would imagine.
Yeah, it was awful.
And then for like life, and then it's just like,
No, it was awful. I don't recommend. 0 out of 5 stars.
0 out of 5.
0 out of 5 stars.
No, your relationships are. I guess that's why they probably harped on your relationships because it is interesting because you're also so open about it. Mm-hmm. I feel like so many people who had a lot of relationships or different dads, like they're just not open about it. Where I feel like you're so open about it, and I think that's probably why they were trying to focus on that storyline. But maybe you were like, it's tired. I've already talked about it.
Well, I have 3 baby daddies and then Elijah. Okay. So it was always about one of them. And it's like, I don't care that much. Yeah. They're not actually, there's not as much drama in them as people think. Right. I have enough drama on my own.
You're like, we're good, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
No, for sure. I know. It is one of those things. I still deal with it too when people ask about relationships from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I was just like, is that what people care about? But I guess people do.
Wait, do you have public relationships before Moses? Because I don't recall ever hearing about it.
Yeah, nothing relevant. But people will ask, like literally from ones like 13 years ago, I remember. And I was just like, that's like just so random. Nothing too public, yeah, but people still ask. But yours are so public because they're on televised. And so when that happens, when you end a relationship with someone who's been on TV, do they regret being on TV with you? Like, do they? I should never have done the show.
I've like funded their whole lifestyle, so like, can they regret it?
Right. So are they still getting? They don't get residuals either, then.
Well, no, but the followings that they've been able to build off of me, and collect brand deals, and then their girlfriends and their significant others do the same.
Yeah.
So like, can they regret it? I mean, they might regret me,
right?
But
do you think anyone does? I don't think they do. You think? I feel like you have good. From what I see, it looks like you have good relationships with all of them. The 3. I just say all. I'm all like with all of them.
It's been a little rocky. It's been a lot rocky.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have a podcast, or you did have one with V.
Yeah, I have one. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Baby
so
Mama
you
So
have
Drama.
how many? You have like 2.
3. Yeah. So I
Okay.
have one with Lindsay.
That's the Barely Famous?
No. Coffee Combos.
Okay.
Coffee Combos is with Lindsay. You know her dad, Todd Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best.
Oh, wait. I didn't know you had a podcast with her. I did not see this.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. How
That's
long?
my longest one since 2017.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I did not see that one in my research.
Yeah. You should come on it. It would be a lot of fun.
I would love.
Yeah.
Because I seen the Baby Mama No Drama.
That's with V. That's
Okay.
Isaac's stepmom.
Yes, I love that.
Yes. And then Barely Famous is like my solo podcast.
And you just finished the Barely tour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wild name, by the way.
You can come to any of the tour dates if you want.
Are these still happening? Because I was looking it up. I thought it finished like this week.
This leg finished. Yeah. So we have more dates coming. So if you want to come out, we should definitely just shock the world and just be like, hey.
I love that
We can
about
show
you.
up as twins.
Yeah, literally, I was so excited.
We can pretend that we didn't, but like we really planned it. You know what I mean?
Like, oh my God, we look the
Oh
same.
my God, your hair. Yeah.
Well, this is what's so fascinating about you, because you have all those podcasts and they're with females. You're actually like such a girl's girl. You know? You don't
Not
think so?
always. No.
Really?
No.
Because I know at the beginning, right, when you're young, I'm looking back at like 16 and pregnant when you're young, when your mom's still on the show, like all this stuff like that. And I was like, you're young, and like that's just what girls do at that age, right? In their early 20s and stuff like that. You just don't like other girls. I think that's everybody goes through that phase.
I think before I was on TV, I was not necessarily a girl's girl because I was so insecure.
Oh, yeah, same.
So like I couldn't be a girl's girl. It was like I can't like you because if I like you and other people like you, then people won't like me.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah.
I felt that way too, or it felt like, I don't know, competition, right? You're like, even though like she's with your new, because you always think that, right? Whenever you like stalk exes and you see a new one, you're like, oh, like don't like that girl. Like there's always something wrong with her.
Yeah.
Until, where do you think it switched for you? Like the security?
I just feel like there's room for everybody at the table, right? Or like at least everyone at the top, but maybe not at the same table, and that's okay. Like me highlighting your success or where you have strength does not highlight my weaknesses. And I think that was a realization that it really didn't come until like my late 20s. So now it's like I want to see everybody eat. Maybe not at my table, but like I want you to succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we can get sweet buns and Chick-fil-A, but it's not going to be at the same table. Like I want to see you like thrive.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I feel like when you just get older, it gets that way. By the way, that's our new podcast is Sweet Buns.
Really
I like
cute.
it. The little like poster for it is just like our butt with our buns.
Yeah.
I think that shows like so much growth, because like watching you in those early seasons, it's actually like wild to see where you are now, because it's just like a different person.
Well, I feel like I just spent so many years, especially in my 20s, being so mad at the world, like mad at everyone, mad about my childhood, mad about, I don't know, it was such a weird place. So I look back and I'm like, I feel so much happier and so much more just relief, I guess, because I'm just not there anymore, right? And like you don't know that until you look back. So like in the moment, I was like, I'm not miserable. I don't hate anybody. I'm a girl's girl. Like I'm this and I'm that. And I look back and I'm like, wow, I really hated everyone. Like I was so mean. I was so bitter. All the things.
So relatable, because that's how I was too. You look back and you're like, oh my God, I was like so angry for what? Like I'm mad at every single person.
Yeah.
But I think that's like such a common like tale for a lot of people, right? The people who are mean and angry like have a lot of trauma, resentment, all that. Because you recently did the candy bowl trauma dump by yourself, which was...
Do you want to do one with me?
Absolutely.
We should do one.
I don't know if I can compete with the trauma. Not that it's a competition, but your trauma is intense.
I didn't think it was that bad. I saw your interview with Call Her Daddy, and you guys were talking about like you had said something to Alex. You were like, "Oh, it's just like it's fine. Like it's just what I went through." That's how I felt. So when people were coming, I didn't expect it to go that viral. Like it has like 10 million views, and I was like, I only scratched the surface. Like that was just a little bit.
Oh my God.
Like I said something to my friend and my assistant on the way here. She's my best friend. And then I was like, oh, when the guy brought the knife to school to kill me, and she was like, wait, what? She was like,
she's like learning something new about you.
I've never heard this story. And I was like, oh my God, I thought that I told this 100 times. I didn't.
And you never talked about it before, like on a podcast
I thought I did, but she said no.
You're like, this is a new story. That's wild. You've written a book, right?
4.
That's, oh my God. And are they all autobiographical?
3 are memoirs and 1's a children's book.
I love that. When did you do the children's one? Why did I not see that either? You've done too much.
2016 maybe?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So you did 3 memoirs.
Yeah.
You could do a 4th at this point if
I
there's stuff
definitely
you
want
haven't.
to. Yeah, I would love to. I would do like a 4th memoir, also like a novel, like an actual novel, because I read a lot. So I feel like that would be good.
I did see that. You're very into like book talk. You're like showing all your books. Where did that come from? I feel like that's like something I've never seen before on Teen Mom. Like you reading a book.
Yeah, they would never. I mean, they only showed 2 minutes of my graduation from college, so why would they?
Right, they skip past all the accomplishments.
I'm like, can we just like talk about books for a second? And they're like, no. No, I just like was spending too much time online. And I was going through like a lot of depression and just not really focusing my energy on good places. And I was like, okay, we need to get a hobby. So I started reading.
Oh my God, so it's like a new thing.
Yes, definitely new. I
love the stack of books you always show each week.
Yeah.
It's wild. Are you reading them or are you doing audio?
I do both. So I'm reading Catch the Sun right now by Jennifer Hartman, and then I listen to something maybe if I'm in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love to read when I can get the time. Like Bridget and I've really got into that, like those books. I want to see what happens next, but they're so like long. I mean, I've been reading them, but it takes time, which is good. I love to read.
Really?
I have a ton of books. I haven't done it so much since having kids, but because it used to be my morning routine was to read, but now I do love reading.
Well, if you need any recommendations, I have like a laundry list.
I saw on your thing.
Do you like dark romance, like falling in love with your stalker and stuff like that?
Yeah, low key, unfortunately, I do like it.
Same.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like that. It ends with us, like all these things that shouldn't be like romantic. It's like trauma.
But it is.
Right. It's like, oh, that's what we like, you know? We relate to it, and it is dark, right? Even 50 Shades of Grey, everyone liking that, it's like, it's kind of dark, y'all. Like,
but I like it.
Same.
I'm like, if it's not dark, I don't want it. We need twisted.
I feel the same way. Yeah, I wrote a twisted romance novel when I was like 24. I self-published it, and it was like really dark.
Are you kidding me?
It's not good.
Wait, can I review it for Book Talk?
It's kind of short. Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's called Tease. It's
oh my God.
It's
can you order that real quick?
It's a dark
Coming right
romance novel. It's kind of, it's not the best written. You know, I did it all myself. I didn't even really have an editor. And I was like, I'm going to publish it. So.
You can like redo it and then put it back out there.
I thought about
that. It might
that.
go viral. Again.
Probably for the wrong reasons. It's a little twisted. It never went viral to begin with. It was all self-published. But I do love that kind of stuff. And if you wrote a novel, it would be so cool.
Wait, what? Why am I just finding this out?
I feel the same way about you because I was watching stuff yesterday and I was just like, wait, I didn't know all this either.
No, because I watched, I'll talk about it when we do my podcast, but I was like, what the there was just so many things that I thought I already knew. Like your album and stuff. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. No, but I feel the same way with you because I was like, oh, I know she wrote a book. And then you actually wrote 3 memoirs in a children's book, which is wild.
You should write a children's book.
I would love to do that too.
That would be so good.
I think because when you have kids, like you read so many of those books and you're like, God, I wish there was one about this. Or did you ever write characters based on your children?
Yeah, that's what in my children's book I have characters. But I only had 2 kids at the time. Now I have 7.
Oh my God, you have to write a new one.
Yeah, wait,
5 more.
I think our kids are around the same age.
Which your twins
and Malibu.
Oh, did you have a baby in 2022?
No, 2020. Okay, so they're like 2 years apart.
Which one what's
Creed is number 4 and he's 2020. But oh wait, no, I had a baby in 2022. Wait.
Me not remembering.
Wait, yes, I did. Rio is the same age as Malibu. We were pregnant at the same time.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, what month?
September.
Okay, November.
Oh my God, yeah, like
right there.
And I remember we were pregnant at the same time this time around because your twin pregnancy was like all over the news.
Okay.
And so I had just found out I was pregnant. So we were like pregnant around the same time.
What month? Did you announce it? You don't have to say if you don't want to.
No, Elvis was June of this year.
Okay, the twins were October.
Of last year.
Of
2023?
Yes.
Yes. So I think I remember the time you announced that you were pregnant. I think I had found out I just had been pregnant. So we were like, yeah, that's crazy.
We were like twins.
We're actual twins right now. That's actually wild. Okay, so I know you talk about this in every interview, but I have to know. Yeah. 7 kids.
Mm-hmm.
How? Like, how do you do it?
You know what's crazy is I never wanted kids.
What? How do you go from 0 to 7?
Well, so I grew up really lonely, and I found out I had a sister when I was 12, so I didn't want kids because I don't know how to talk to them. Like, I don't know how to interact with them, you know what I mean? Because I was never around them. So once I got pregnant, and I had one, I knew how lonely I was as an only child. So I was like, okay, I fell in love with mothering, right? Like at that point, I was excited. I wanted to be a mom. So I had more. But I never thought I was going to have 7. I didn't think I was going to have any more after my 3rd. And then I was like, okay, the 4th, I'm definitely done. But then I met Elijah and we, did the thing. And had more babies.
But you didn't plan the first one with Elijah either. That was your one time.
Only one of 7 were planned.
Wow. Which one? Can you say?
Lincoln, the second one.
Okay, so that one you like actively were
we tried, didn't get pregnant, whatever, and then I actually had a loss after him that we tried for as well.
Oh gosh.
So 2 were planned, but 1 obviously didn't make it. But out of 7, only 1 were planned. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's probably not responsible for me to talk about that, but whatever.
No, I think it's very real because I also never was like familiar with birth control. Like I had no idea. Even now, because we're like not trying to get pregnant anymore, I'm like, how do you do birth control without taking the pill? Like, you know what I mean? Because I've never been on birth control. Don't know. I just thought pull out just works every time. It worked for me every time, but I don't know if you don't want to get too personal. But what's your birth control plan? Well,
I'm fixed now.
You did get the tubes tied.
I got them cut out.
What does that mean? That sounds so intense.
I have no idea.
They like just ripped them out?
Yeah, they like showed me. I asked if I could keep them, but they said no.
Oh, they literally took them out. So they're not just tied in there. They're like...
No, they're out. They showed them to me.
Oh.
And then he also got fixed.
Oh.
So we're like dogs, but it's fine.
That's kind of amazing though. That's like...
Well, we had instant regret.
Why?
Because I have only one girl. So I was like, I always wanted her to have a sister. So I was like, oh, like maybe we should have waited until we had one more girl.
Oh.
Like done IVF with gender selection.
Oh my gosh.
So that we could have one more daughter.
Yeah.
And then I think she could have a sister. But I think at this point, like it's just, I don't know. I don't think we'll do it.
No, you didn't freeze your eggs or anything like that ever?
No, and before I met Elijah, I actually was going through that process. I was like, went to go get like my follicles and all of the things to like check my eggs and stuff and do, what is it called? Clomid?
I don't know.
They were going to put me on Clomid or something to retrieve the eggs.
Yeah.
And then I ended up not doing it, which was fine because then I ended up with Elijah and I got pregnant with Rio.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How wild. So the instant regret, did you get them taken out like when you gave birth? Like
yeah, so I had to
C-section?
do a C-section and then they just cut them out. And they did say like in the side effects, they have regret listed.
So they give you a list of like things that you what may happen after.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them says regret. Mm-hmm. Did you ever ask about it? Were you like, what does this mean?
No, I'm 100% done.
Oh my God.
But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I also go back and forth with like getting married again. So it's one of those things where I change my mind so often that I probably should not have
right.
done it because I know that about myself. Like I know I change my mind so frequently.
I know. That is the tough one too. Cause that's what I had C-section both time. And like, we could just tie your tubes while there's, and it's like, the idea sounded good, but I'm like, but what if maybe, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, I guess when you have 7, but then again, yeah, you never, I guess the unexpected is still great, right? Like you're still like, it's still wonderful.
Well, and then Elijah was like, well, I came from a family of 4 and like I should probably have 4 of my own. And because he has 3 of his own now. So he's like, I could add 1 more.
Oh.
So then I was like, because he has like 2 boys, 2 girls. So it would have been the same for him if he had 1 more daughter.
And so it's just like not an option anymore for you guys.
I will say that, but yeah, probably not.
Yeah, because you could probably get like, I guess, a different egg and sperm or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah, and you have 7, so.
We're like, I guess Kail has repopulated the earth plenty.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I love it. Like, I honestly would love to have, if I would have started earlier, like, honestly, I would have had probably 7 or 8 kids if I, like,
really?
could have. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love the idea of a big family.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, I have, like, 3 altogether, but, like, 3 siblings, or 2 siblings, but, yeah, you just don't want to be lonely. They'll never be lonely. They'll always have somebody.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, it's like a little army. It's like the Von Trapp family, you know?
Who's that?
The Sound of Music. Have you ever seen it?
Wait, you love...
I do love musicals,
like,
yeah.
Broadway.
I love Broadway.
Okay.
But Sound of Music is a pretty, like, big movie.
Sound of Music sounds familiar,
Have you
but...
never seen it?
No. Is it a movie?
Yeah, with, like, Julie Andrews. It's like, doe, a deer, a female deer.
That's where that song came from. Okay, got it.
There's 7 kids, the Von Trapp. It was based on a real family. There's, like, 7 kids.
Okay.
And they march, they, like, answer to whistles, and then they're also, like, singers. They're, like, the Von Trapp family singers.
Oh, I love
Could
that.
be your family. Or the 7 Dwarfs. There's so many 7s.
I was thinking like Brady Bunch, but I don't know how many kids there were there.
That's 6.
6. Close enough. I mean, the twins count for, they could be 1. You know what I mean?
Could they? So you have a boy and a girl twin.
Yeah.
Were you, this is probably an annoying question, but were you like trying for a girl? Were you hoping for a girl each time?
No, I think I always liked the idea of having a girl, but I was never, and people think that I was like going to keep going until I had a girl, but that was not the case.
Okay.
It was just like, if I had one, it would be really cool, but I wasn't trying.
Yeah.
It just happened. And I also wasn't trying. The twins and Rio are not even a year apart. So they're all going to be 1 this month. Like 3 of them will be 1. So like I wasn't trying for that to happen. It just did.
A whole new generation because of the phones and social media. Like, is Isaac on social media?
Yeah, he has a big social media presence.
Is he doing brand deals?
He is doing brand deals.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have his little bank account set up, and he has to go in, take his taxes out, then split it between his accounts that I have for him. And teaching him about taxes because when I was given these huge lump sums of money in the beginning of Teen Mom, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to pay my taxes, so I went into debt. You know what I mean? So I don't want that to happen to him.
That's the most important thing I think to teach because I didn't know about taxes until like 5 years ago. Like I paid them, but I didn't know about them. And I was just like, I didn't know how it worked. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I thought all the money I made was my money. And then I was like shook when I like owed money.
Yeah.
It is like a scary thing, I think. And they don't teach that at school. It's like wild.
So I just tell Isaac, I'm like, just expect to take out X amount of dollars from every single thing you get. You know what I mean? Like, don't even, and I'd rather have him take out more and then have a cushion than to not. You know what I mean? So.
And then do you have to get consent from all the dads?
Oh, God. So yes and no. What's weird is technically I don't have to get consent from them as long as one parent signs off.
Okay.
But that being said, different states kind of have different laws. And so I think just like for all intents and purposes, get both so that they avoid, like MTV themselves would like avoid the litigation, anything like that. But like technically, no.
So interesting because I know like it was the whole thing with Kim and Kanye, right? Like Kanye didn't want Hit North on TikTok, I think was a huge thing. And he's like, I don't want her on TikTok, but she still had a TikTok account. So I'm like, I wonder how that works. I guess the mom just gets the say. I don't know.
Well, what's interesting about that is social media, there's no contracts. So can you really prevent someone from being on social media?
Right. I don't know. I don't know how that works when I don't know how old she is because I guess like TikTok too, you have to be like 13.
Okay.
But I guess her account was like Kim and North. So it's like, it's such a, social media is a thing. I'm so divided by it, right? With putting kids on social media. Like, of course mine are, but it's also one of those things, I guess there's like weirdos out there, but at the same time, it's like, oh, but I want to share my kids. It's such a hard thing. And I know it's so controversial. Some people are like, absolutely not. You shouldn't have your kids in your content. The other people are like, it's, no one can navigate this. It's new.
I think as long as you're not exploiting, like showing like the family vlogs and things that you do, you're not like just exploiting them and making them do certain things. You know what I mean? Because I don't make my kids if they don't want to be on social media, I don't. And a lot of times I ask them, most of the time I ask them, can I post this?
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they'll say,
Yeah. And like even my younger ones will tell me no. Like I have this video of I have this video of Lux doing the bye 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 dance. And I was like, can I post this? He's like, let me think about it.
Oh my God.
He's 7.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, it's in my drafts. Like, if you change your mind, your mind.
That's so cute. Yeah, it is. Like, yeah, at that age, I guess they couldn't consent. They could be like, yes, no, all that stuff like that. For sure. But you're not shy from sharing, like, your opinions on parenting. Like, I love that about you. Because your iPad controversy.
I was just about to bring that up. Oh, people did not like, but I that's how I feel.
I love your outspokenness because I'm so scared to say anything. I never say anything about any parent. I don't even show like what I feed my kids because I'm like, I don't need to hear parent shaming.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. So where did you say this and what made you want to speak out about it? Did you see someone and you're like, oh my God, lazy? Like... What was
yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I actually saw someone in the hotel and the kid was carrying the iPad with them. And I was like, I looked at Kristen and I said, when you have kids, don't let that be them.
Like they're just holding it as they're walking. Interesting. Okay.
And I just can't. Like, I can't get behind it. And also, like, I went through it myself where it was like, my my younger kids, they always needed their iPads. They were having meltdowns. They were doing all this stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I waited till they died and not the kids, the iPads. I waited until the iPads died and I never took them out again.
And how did you stop them from having a tantrum?
Once they died, at the point that the iPads died, they never asked about them because we just started doing whatever. But before that, it was they were always tantruming if they didn't have them and we would go out to eat. And I'm like, this is humiliating. This is so embarrassing. I don't want to have a fight with my child because it was in public.
Yeah.
And like if I'm going to my kids' sports practices and stuff, like I don't need my little kids sitting on my phone. I also need my phone. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to do this.
So I have 2. You give them 1 and
Yeah, I just said it, we're not doing this. Yeah. And they never really asked about him again. I know that they do get like technology and stuff at their dad's house, but I can't control what goes on over there. But I will say like they come home and want to be on them because they have them at their dad's. I'm not dealing with that.
Oh God.
So don't even ask me. Don't ask me.
But isn't that so hard? Like they get all this technology and then come to your house and they're like, it's like Amish country all of a sudden. And we're just like, oh my God, there's no electricity. Like,
no, but what's funny, it is Amish country. Like all my neighbors.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Like in Delaware?
Yeah. All my neighbors are Amish. They built my house.
Oh my, do you have electricity? Isn't that they have like no electricity?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
They're like kind of Amish.
No, they are. They're like horse and buggy and everything.
Wow, how cool. That's fun. That's a reality show. Why don't they show that on Teen Mom?
That's a good question.
I would have loved to see you in Amish country. Like, I didn't know that.
So the 14-year-old was putting the siding up on my house, and I had like the one that I built, and I was like, wait, shouldn't you be at school? And he's like, we don't go to school. I work for my dad. And I was like, wait, what? And they were Amish.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fascinating. They're very, very nice. They make great food.
Really?
Yeah, we have Amish markets all over. They're so good. If you ever come to the East Coast, like, please let me know because I'm 2 hours from New York and we could take you to, like, the Amish market.
That would be so fun.
They don't want to be on camera, though.
I can respect that.
Okay.
I don't need to vlog everything. Not like Logan Paul or something where I'm like, I gotta vlog everything.
Do you know him?
I've been on his podcast.
Okay.
Did you do his podcast?
No, I don't think he knows who I am.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I don't think he knew I was either. I was just on there. They just like, here, put him on here. Yeah, I don't know too many like vloggers. I live in LA. I just don't really like get out that much. But
yeah.
I love Amish country. There was a movie we watched called For Rich or Poor. Have you seen that? It's
no.
like it's probably before you were born. It was like Tim Allen, Kirstie Alley.
Trisha, you are not that much older than me.
4 years is a big difference.
Well,
For Rich or Poor?
Elijah is 6 years younger than me. So I guess that's like, I was in first grade.
32. Oh, okay.
He's 26.
Oh.
Is he 26?
It's not like a crazy age. We're 11 years apart right now. Obviously, when you get older, the age gap like lessens. But there's still like generational stuff. Do you feel that you're just like, oh my God, you don't know this?
No, because Elijah acts like he's 45.
That's
so like he puts me on to like R&B music that I've never heard of in my entire life. You know what I mean? So he's like old soul.
That's very us. Like I love like Donny Osmond, who was around in the 70s. I'm like, let's go see Donny in Vegas. Like I think it's very that. So that might be the same thing. Yeah, but even I know my like just when we talk about stuff, there's just so many generational things that I'm always like, oh, but For Rich or Poor was such a classic movie. But it was like in the 95. Were you?
Okay, I was 3.
Okay.
I was 92.
So you didn't like go to the movies to see it.
Wait, so if you're 4 years older, then you were in the 80s. You're an 80s baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I remember going to the movies at like 7 to see this movie, you know? So that's why I guess it's a little bit. But anyways, it's a really good movie about how they like hide out in Amish country. And, and then they end up like loving it. And I was like, honestly, I could go Amish for sure.
We're all cornfields, lots of Amish.
That's cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a farm.
Wait, so are you on a different... So when we last saw you on Teen Mom in 2022, are you on a different house now?
No. That's the house I built. I had just moved in. Like I had like maybe 2 months in that house. And Elijah, I met him because he owns the house in front of me.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So he like his uncle was doing my landscaping for years and years. And I was like, hey, come out, do this estimate for what it's going to cost for landscaping or whatever. And he's like, he comes out and he's like, this looks really familiar. I think my nephew bought the house in front of you. And sure as he did.
That's why. So did you guys combine properties?
Yeah, pretty much. It was originally an Amish farm. And then they separated it, and now we're just like, he put his cousin and his cousin's husband, who's his best friend, in that house. So they rent it from us, and then he moves with me.
So did you erase the property line so it's like all connected?
I don't know if we can like legally do that, but that's basically what it is. Because it was like one big farm, and then they just like split it, so.
Oh my God, so you have like this full family now.
Yeah.
Which is like really amazing. And you have no contact with your mom or Joe's parents?
No. I mean, Joe's mom lives in Delaware now.
Okay.
So but I don't talk to her very often. I think I talked to her maybe June of this year. So like not a relationship or anything like that.
Because on the show, it just seemed like she like cared so much about you, like almost as much as Joe, if not like, the same or as more, because she's kind of had your back a lot in fights. Like I was watching some old clips and I was like, there was like one where she's like, don't talk to her that way. Like she always like kind of stood up, not all the time. Sometimes she did blindly defend Joe, but I felt like sometimes she like had your back and it felt like a motherly thing for you, but you didn't
I think a lot of it was for the show.
Interesting. So you didn't feel it in real life?
Absolutely not.
Oh, that's so sad.
Absolutely not.
Because they came across so good on the show. They seemed so fair, and you're just like, that's so sweet.
Well, in all reality, I was actually closer to Joe's dad. Like he always had my back, like in real life, and I don't know how much I actually have never gone back and like watched it. No, I've seen like the viral clips that go on TikTok, but I've never gone back and like watched it in its entirety. But in real life, I remember just being closer to Joe's dad.
Oh, how interesting. Well, that's always good to know because I know, you're a boy mom. I always feel like boy moms they just think their sons can do no wrong. They're just like, my son's wonderful.
I don't want to be that mom. Like, I don't want to be in denial. I want to be the girl's girl. I want to like look at the bigger picture. And I feel like because I didn't have that, I want to be that. You know what I mean?
That's good. So you're like breaking it. You're like, I'm not going to be this person. Yeah. Mm-mm. It is crazy. The boy moms on TikTok too. Do you ever see those trends where they're like, I was his first love and I was his first kiss? I'm like, girl.
Why are boy moms like that?
I don't know.
They're crazy. They're insane.
I was like, what happens when you give birth to a boy that you just become like that attached to a
I don't know what that is. Isn't there like a Sigmund and Freud like theory that the kids fall in love with the parent? Have you heard that?
No. What
is God.
It?
I think, was it Sigmund and Freud? Is that the same person?
Do you know this theory?
The mom tried to turn the oldest son to her husband.
Yeah. Oh, the mom tries to turn the oldest son.
Sometimes the kids want to have relationships.
Oh, interesting. So it'd be like turning Isaac to be like sort of like to kind of support you, to be like the husband figure in the sense of like being supportive and helping you and take care of things.
But like they fall in love, like the child is like in love with the parent.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'll send you links because I might have it up a little bit, but it's like something like that.
That makes sense because I met a lot of boys. It was always a red flag. Like if the boy was like more attached to the mom and cared more about what the mom thought than like me, I was like, that's kind of odd.
Like weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like do you watch Love is Blind, the new one?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And Elijah loves Love is Blind. I don't like actively keep up with it, but I watch it when he watches it, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on?
New season, there's a guy that lives at home at 28, and she found out after the pods, and all the parents pay all the bills, and he's just like, I'm going to just keep letting him pay the bills. I'm just like, no. What?
Okay, but hold on, because I just feel like in this generation, I don't know if generation's the right word, in this climate, this economy and everything, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I just bought 20 acres because I was like, I need to build a compound and I need to build a house that all my kids can fit in until they're 30, because we don't know where we're going to be with inflation and the cost of living and everything else. Like, I'm scared that my kids are not going to they're not going to have a fighting chance like we did.
So interesting.
Like,
you're so practical.
I was on my own at 18 years old trying to figure everything out, and I would never want that for my kids.
I think that's why you think about stuff like that. And that's like such a good thing, right? And same, like, you know, I never want to be, obviously growing up with no money, you don't want to be that. And you don't want your kids to be that. I always think about that. I'm always like, we need life insurance. We need this. We need to make sure they're set for life. Bank accounts, trusts, like whatever it is. Because you don't want your kids, which is like so smart, actually, that you're right. Because we don't know where it's going to be. And that's probably why people can't afford houses. Interesting defense. Because, you know, I see it all over TikTok and I haven't seen anyone defend this poor guy.
I don't know the situation, but I think about it now and I'm like, okay, like there's a reason why every other country like they get it. It's like generations living in one household, because we're not meant, like, think about where we were when we were 18, right? Like we were doing things that we probably shouldn't have been doing to pay our bills.
I was definitely a hooker in Santa Monica, yeah.
Oh, in Santa Monica?
Yeah, on Santa Monica Boulevard. There's a lot of hookers out that way.
Oh,
yeah.
Like still?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they clean it up, but you literally go out and give like for like $5. It's like crazy.
$5?
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't even know. Well, my jobs would probably only be worth $5.
Mine too.
Mine are not good.
Let me give you a minute. $5 a minute. That's it.
You got 30 seconds for my job.
No, you were on Teen Mom. You were living the TV star life at 18. I wish that was like, that's what I'm saying. It was like my dream to be on there.
But I had to work. I worked like a traditional job, traditional hours up until my second son was born, because Teen Mom was not actually cutting it. Like we didn't get paid as much as people think that we did.
On that first season.
The first season, I got $10,000 before taxes.
And that's 10 episodes you did?
12.
12 episodes. Wow.
12.
That's wild. And you weren't getting brand deals back then, right? Off the start.
Absolutely not. No brand deals, no nothing.
What were you working as?
So I went to dental assisting school. So I was a dental assistant for some time. I was a dog bather.
Oh, really?
At PetSmart.
And then you graduated college, or
So I got my degree in 2017. I was pregnant with my third son.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Associates or
no, my bachelor's degree. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I watched all the Teen Moms.
Really? Yeah, they only showed 2 minutes of it, so it was easily overlooked.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. So you were going to school, were you doing it online? Or
no, I went physically to class. There's one scene they might have shown with my kids in class with me, because I physically brought them to class.
And that was real?
Yeah, no, that was real, because I didn't have a babysitter. And I was going through a divorce. So I took some night classes. So it was like, I went during the day while I had childcare. And then like on my time when I was not, how do I say, when Javi had the kids, or the kid, and Joe had Isaac, I would take the kids to school when it was my time.
Wow.
So it was like my 6 to 8 class.
And they were cool with that in college?
I mean, they probably didn't love it, but I didn't have a choice. So it was like, take my tuition money or don't.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God. So the kids were like sitting in class. I wonder, because then they're getting like an education too, where they're like paying attention. You know what I mean? Like they have to pay tuition. I mean, it's kind of because probably why Isaac's so smart. Maybe he was like in college with you, so he's like picking up on it,
yeah,
absorbing
he was like, perfect. I got it. He's like, let me take your test for you.
Wait, that's crazy. So what did you get your bachelor's in?
Communications.
Oh my gosh, you're using it because you're doing podcasts, you're producing, you have your own.
And I took lots of PR classes because of the communications, so like I could probably go into PR.
No, you're so good at marketing yourself. Like all the TikToks you do, are you coming up with those ideas? You're doing the trends?
Oh God, like which ones?
Like
I didn't know what Hot to Go was. So I had a live show last night or 2 nights ago. And they were like, I hope they play Hot to Go. And it was like this joke. And I was like, wait, what is that? And so I wouldn't say that I'm great on the trends, but I do my best. Like I might be late, but I'll do them.
So does someone help you then? Like with the candy bowl trend?
Oh no.
No one's telling you like do this. You know, you see that with like older actors or something. They're just like do this trend or whatever.
No, and I was late to that trend. Like I was like probably one of the last ones that posted
I'm usually late too.
I just like don't think about it. And I did it, but I'm not great at the trends. I do my best.
I feel like you're really good at it.
I do my best. Yeah.
I do feel like you're kind of amazing. I think the one where you used your own sound, he tried to me at a Wawa parking lot last
Have you been to
Tuesday.
a Wawa?
I've been to Wawa once in Pittsburgh, I think. I was
You
visiting.
went to Wawa?
Yes,
Did you think of me?
I think it was before the Wawa trend, but now I want to. When
Yeah.
I see that, I was like, because you were at a Wawa doing it. I was like, that's iconic. I want to go.
Well, you know what's crazy is like they sent me a gas card for like $50 or something like that, but they won't give me a deal. You know what I mean? But they'll get like the Jersey Shore and like Alex. But like I'm known for Wawa. Like people associate me with Wawa, but they won't give me a brand deal.
Maybe because it's like having sex in a Wawa parking lot. Maybe it's not their brand.
Oh.
Or maybe it is. I don't know. They're doing Jersey Shore
I'm
brand
also
deals.
known for having sex in cars, so I could do
Right.
it in the Wawa parking lot.
That's kind of wild. So yes, the sidewalk cars, but you said no to it. You declined it when Javi asked.
To the Wawa one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did at the time.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done it at another time. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like,
were you in a relationship?
was I? I might have been. I might have been in a relationship with him, with Chris, and Chris was not in a relationship with me. So
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah, I was like loyal to someone who wasn't loyal to me.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, but I love that you take accountability because like later on in that episode, you literally like, I caused a storm and I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, I actually felt really bad about that storm.
Yeah, you're
Because that
like-
was unintentional.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you can reflect and like take accountability where I don't think
Mm-hmm.
many of the other teen moms can do that, you know, from what we see anyways. Because you literally on the show, because Joe's like, are you okay? You're like, no, I'm not okay. Like it was, you know, it was a storm and she's probably a nice girl and I probably didn't need to do that. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's not, that's why I was saying in the girl sense, it's like you weren't mad at her. You were like mad at him. You know what I mean?
I think you and me specifically don't get enough credit for our level of self-awareness. Like people like to try to call us out for things that we've done and we already know and we're already like having our feelings about it.
Too
you know?
hyper aware.
Yeah.
We know we were embarrassing. We know it was awful.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like I shouldn't have done that.
Interesting. And then
Whatever.
how do you like resolve it when you're like, oh, I just said all that on TV? Like, do you have to like go apologize to him, his girlfriend? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I did apologize to him, but I didn't get one back, which was interesting.
Oh.
I was like, wait a minute, but like you did this. Why am I apologizing? Like, don't do it if you don't want me to put it out there.
It's the most frustrating thing when like you can offer an apology and no one can like give it back because most of the time it is like a two-sided thing. Even if it's
Yeah.
like 80%, 20%, 50-50, whatever it is, it's like something would be nice. And it is so frustrating. Remember Joe wanting to be a rapper, so I feel like
yeah.
it probably helped him in some
Wait,
way.
would you have ever done like a music video with him?
Yes, absolutely. If he wants to do it now, I'll do it. Me and V just and you, we just all are like in the video vixens. Absolutely, they are icons to me. Like I did watch those seasons with Javi and Joe, and I'm just like icons, you know.
Yeah.
But because of you.
Oh, okay. See? You see what I'm saying?
Of course. No, that's what
I'm just kidding.
No, but it's like the Britney Spears effect, right? Like I before I knew how awful Kevin Federline was, I remember I used to like DM him, like, you know, like on MySpace in like 2006, and I was like, oh my God, here's like my chance or whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I feel like the girls make them iconic, and then people want to date after that, like, you know. But it's also like, okay, let's think about why these girls left him, you know.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially like Britney, you know, it's like, yeah, she made these guys famous, but
Honestly, when I was listening to, first of all, the Chicken Fingers and Lipo,
oh, the album,
the Freaky song,
yeah.
it was giving Britney vibes.
Thank you. I love Britney. I do
No,
love her.
so do
song.
I. I absolutely love her. I've seen her on tour. I've had every album. Like I love her.
Have you
so
met
much.
her because
No.
of MTV or anything?
No.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I feel like it being on MTV, especially in that era, you could have been invited to parties with like VMAs and that. Because you guys go to the VMAs. The teen moms go.
We've only been invited like the last couple years. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, we were never, because they always told us that like it was not a good look for teen moms to be invited to events because we were on the show. And so they only started inviting us. Our very first VMA appearance, like
Yeah.
any of the Teen Mom cast, we were seat fillers.
Where do they see you? Like, oh, just when people would get up, you would go sit in their seats?
No, like when they had empty seats, they were like, oh, we got last minute, like literally 48-hour notice invitations to be seat fillers for people who declined.
Which is wild because Teen Mom is like the most relevant thing from MTV. Like, no shade, but like also that's all people know MTV for.
I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but like maybe other people would know, is that we were nominated, like Teen Mom was nominated, or like the production was nominated for like Emmy Awards because of like the groundbreaking series. Or we weren't nominated. I think that was the like what was upsetting to everybody was like we weren't nominated, and we're in textbooks. Like we're in high school textbooks now.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my. What are they saying about it? Like, are they being like using you guys as like a TV show example or teen pregnancy example?
Teen pregnancy. like the decline.
Oh, so that's so interesting because I remember seeing those on like the Dr. Drew specials. I remember him saying like, "Oh, we've helped decline," but I guess now they don't make the show anymore. But I always just thought so many people would want to get pregnant to get on the show.
Maybe initially,
Right.
but I think, but like even then, it was still less than what it was.
That makes sense because I definitely don't think they glorified teen pregnancy because nobody's relationships were something
cheating, crying, no money, like all of that.
It was so awful, and
Yeah.
still you see it. I mean, I think you're like a success story from there, but like you see people like Caitlyn and Tyler right now, like fighting for their life because they want to see Carly and how they ruined their life, and it's just like holy shit, it's still affecting them 16 years later.
Isn't that so sad?
It's so sad. Do you keep up with any of the other teen
Yeah,
moms?
no, I talk to Caitlyn and Tyler pretty regularly. I'm going to go see Macy next month.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like she found her footing. She was
Yeah.
pretty, like, obviously she always kind of was on that show, but yeah, just seeing people, or like Leah getting shamed for being a bartender. They're all like, oh my God, did you see that? Or like
Yeah.
waitressing or something. And everyone's like, that's so crazy. She's like a waitress. I'm like, because she's like doing a job, like
Yeah.
she's working. It's
So crazy.
people are awful. And I think specifically to teen moms or the teen mom cast, because they just look at you guys as like, I guess like celebrities, but also, you know, thinking like you guys don't have like real lives or real jobs, or like, you know, that you get so much money from TV. Like how could she possibly be waitressing, you know?
I also don't think they will ever take us seriously. Like to this day, I am still teen mom. Like I will never be anything other than teen mom.
And do you not like that?
I give credit where credit is due. Like
Yeah.
I know where I came from. I know where I started. I know, you know what I mean? So like, but I do feel like at some point, like, can I not be teen mom? Cause like I was a teen mom, but I'm not a teen mom now. You know what I mean? They're
like
like,
I'm 32.
you didn't learn, you have 7 kids, you never learned anything. Okay. But half of my children, actually all the rest of my children besides one, I was an adult. Like I
Right.
wasn't a teen.
Yeah.
So to say I didn't learn anything, no, I'm like I was married. I planned that baby. You know what I mean? Like it's just so weird. It's like a weird mentality, I guess.
It's so weird because even the unplanned ones, you know, it's not like you did anything bad. Like, you know, it's just like we weren't expecting it, but you
Here
had
we
a
are.
baby. Yeah, you know, and you fully embrace it, and you do seem like a wonderful mom, like the balance.
Thank you.
I guess that goes back to the first question I asked, is like how are you doing it? Because it is. And it's like it's another like controversial thing, right? People talking about daycare and nannies and all stuff like that. Like, how do you balance it? Do you have help? Is it just the dads? Is it you? Do you have help?
So I made the mistake of saying I have a nanny. I have childcare during traditional working hours. So you heard it here first. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
Yeah.
I have childcare for the babies. I want to specify that too, because people are like, oh, you have childcare for like all your kids. That's why you travel. No, all my kids right now are with their dads. Every single one of them.
Wow.
So that's how I was able to make this trip work, because I wait to try to do all my stuff when my kids are with their dads. And then the babies, I just have childcare that comes to the house instead of taking them to daycare, which I do have that luxury.
Right, yeah.
To have someone come to my house and take care of them Monday through Friday during working hours. But 4 o'clock comes and she's gone. She leaves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that all sad though, that you have to like justify yourself? Like you said the word nanny and everyone, you got judgment for it? People like,
Oh yeah, and they're like, she has multiple nannies. What else did people say? I don't even know. Kristen's not listening. It's fine. Yeah, like she has multiple nannies. Obviously, she has help. No, we don't have nights and weekends. Like that's something that Elijah and I
Wow.
still don't hang out because we don't have nights and weekends help.
Yeah, it's hard to find that. It's just interesting because until you have kids, because I definitely was always one to judge. I'm like, oh, why have kids if you're gonna have like a nanny, you know? And then you have kids and you're like,
Oh, I need help.
it's so yeah,
Because like you and Moses are working.
yeah,
So
no,
obviously you need help.
Yes, and then you know you have family and mom, you know, have all stuff like that. But then also there's not times when they can't watch it.
Yeah.
And you know, there's just and kids like routine. So yeah, it's so interesting. People love to judge until they have kids or.
But unless it's the iPad all day, then obviously I'm judging. Obviously.
Right, because I saw the backlash on that when people were like, well, you have all these nannies to help you and the money.
Obviously, I have
Yeah.
100 nannies because I can afford it.
I think everyone needs help. I think that's like the big thing. It's like when you have kids, like they say it takes a village for a reason, right? Like everyone needs help. And the people who don't have any help, like, wow.
Drowning.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's amazing, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they're stressed.
Struggling.
Yeah. I mean, did your mom work a lot growing up?
I mean, yeah.
But you said she was an alcoholic. She had like problems with
Oh, yeah.
alcohol.
Drugs, alcohol, the whole nine.
So were you seeing her a lot, or were you mostly by yourself? Were you,
No,
like-
I spent more time in other people's houses than I did in my mom's house.
Okay, so you had a lot of friends.
Yeah, I mainly stayed with friends, my grandparents. Like I collectively think that they raised me versus my mom.
So interesting. Yeah, because I mean, there's that alternative, right? It's like there's moms who are completely neglectful, and like it's like, well, the judgments are just so crazy, and I don't judge anyone for that reason, because
You just never know.
Yeah, especially also with 7 kids. I mean, you need help, and you're a working mom, and you're like a really good provider.
But that's not good enough either.
What do you mean? Like,
Like,
people. judge you for working.
Win. Yeah, it's like, well, wait, what about Elijah? And it's like, okay, but he works too. Like, what do y'all want from me?
Ugh. And that's another. I hate that like argument too. It's just so annoying. It's like Logan Paul went back to work right away after giving birth. He just recently had a baby. His wife gave birth and went back to work, and everyone like praised him, didn't say anything about it. But like when I did this 2 weeks later, it's all like, oh my God, be with your baby. And it's like, we filmed this in my basement. Like my baby.
Like we're home. Like your baby is upstairs.
They don't. You just can't win at all.
No, I love when people are like, go get a real job, and I'm like, well, am I getting paid in Monopoly money right now?
You're like, I'm taking care of, you're doing a full compound for your kids. You're like, and you're smart because it's like, you know, you made it last, and same thing with me. You never know with social media, you just don't know how it's going to like last, but you make it last. And I think that's like, obviously shows how smart you are. And then obviously.
I will say I get very nervous the older I get. Because we're further and further away from like where my peak was in like TV and like relevancy. And so the further away that I get from that, I get very nervous.
Yeah, I think that's like common. I think probably with anybody in entertainment, right? Like the older you get. Yeah. Unless you're like an actress or a singer or something, but I'm the same way. It's like you see all these like TikTokers or anything. It's at least you were on like reality TV. So in my head, I always think like you have that thing that you're known for, and I would like hang on to that. Well, not hang on to it, but it's just such a thing to fall back on, as opposed to like I don't have anything like that. Like the Brady Bunch people, they're Brady Bunch kids forever. Yeah, and I feel like people love that, and I feel like you could ride that wave forever if you wanted. You know, like you're like, I'm a teen mom for life. You'll be 80, and you'll be like, I'm a teen mom. You know what I mean? I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad brand, unless it gave you a bad taste in your mouth personally. Then I can
not necessarily like a bad taste in my mouth, but more so like no other companies and brands or like outlets taking me seriously because I always have that attached to me.
Like, what would you want to do where you think it might hinder you?
Everything. I want to be like, I want to do just like, I don't know, especially
like acting?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I don't know if I would even be successful, but like just
Try
even
it.
You've done it. You were weren't you on Modern Family?
As an extra. I like walk past for 2 seconds.
Okay, but like that's what I want to do.
We can easily do that. That's very easy.
I want a cameo. I'll be like a barista that's just like quiet. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to say anything.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
You really should.
I don't even know where to start.
But you have managers. You have like a team now.
No, I just have PR and my assistant, who's my best friend.
Really? Because it seems so.
I don't have management.
Have you had it before though?
No. Did I? Did I have management
book deals
before?
And stuff?
No. I did book deals.
Through yourself?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So they just came to you and you like did it like with a publisher?
The first one, I got turned down by 6 publishing houses before MTV was like, oh, we have a book department. But then they don't have a book department anymore. The rest of them came separate. Somebody came to me.
Are you a New York Times? Is it New York Times bestseller?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you're going to be able to get book deals for the rest of your life. If you go to any publisher, I'm sure they'll be like, yes, absolutely. If you did a New York Times bestseller, are they all like
Don't
that?
give me any ideas. No, just the first one.
That's amazing. And you did a book tour and stuff?
Yeah.
So cool.
And my face was on a bus.
Where?
We should do that. Like, Trisha, do you know how iconic that would be?
Have our faces on a bus?
Yeah.
For what? For our sweet buns?
Yeah.
What are we going to be on it? I would
Sweet
love to.
buns. We'll do a podcast tour.
Yeah, I love that.
That could be like just the tagline of the tour. You know what I mean?
Okay. Not
so
the
like we don't
name.
even have to have like a full podcast because that's like a lot of work. But we could do like the Sweet Buns tour.
Touring seems like a lot of work. How are you managing that?
But you know what?
Are you flying out or are you bus?
No, I fly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just try to schedule it when the kids are with their dads.
I see. So
yeah,
and then you go back and forth because Delaware is not really central. So if you're flying to like Colorado, that's a long flight.
So I did 2 in Texas, but I was able to drive between the Texas ones. So I just flew to Texas for the first one, drove to Dallas, and then fly home. I actually flew back to New York because I had an interview, and then go home. So like you space them out. Like I'm not going on the road. You know what I mean? Like it's like on the road, but not.
Yeah, I like the idea of a bus tour. When I thought of like logistics, I was like, I don't think
the book tour was the bus. I did bring my son with me. I brought Lincoln with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was that?
No, it was so fun.
He was fine?
Oh, yeah.
How old was he?
He was not 1 yet, so he was still a baby. He was like an infant.
I love the idea of that. I just like, what, do you have him back in the bed with you?
Yeah. Just like bring him. And I had my friend Becky, who I was with the other night. Maybe you saw it on my Instagram this morning, but she was with me on the book tour. So she helped me when I was like physically signing the books. You know what I mean?
So it's just you, it was you, her, and...
Amber from Teen Mom.
Oh, was she on the book tour with you?
Yeah, she did a book and we went on tour together.
Oh my, have you talked to her lately?
No, I haven't talked to her lately. I don't know how she's doing, but I hope she's doing well. She had the most iconic stories from prison. And so that was right when she got out of prison was when we went on the book tour.
Oh, she wrote stories from about prison?
I actually don't know if the stories were in the book.
Oh, she had just gotten out.
But she had, that was the first time I met her when we went on tour, where she was like freshly out of prison.
Her story is so wild too. Like I cannot even comprehend that.
Yeah.
Is she the only teen mom that was in prison? Janelle was arrested, right?
Janelle's been arrested. Joe went to jail.
What?
Yeah.
Is that public? Does he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't do anything publicly, but I mean, I've talked about it before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's.
I was failure to pay child support, I think. So as soon as
They can put you in jail for that?
well, in Pennsylvania, yeah.
I mean, they should, because I'm sure there's a ton of guys who don't pay child support.
So Delaware's argument is that if they're in jail, they can't pay the child support. But in Pennsylvania, it's like, here, you're going to go to jail until you pay the child support.
How do you pay it from jail?
Well, you better have savings accounts.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So he paid it out. He paid it and then got out.
I wonder if California has that. I feel like they don't, because I know so many people who say they don't get child support. I'm like, well,
I don't get child support.
From anybody?
No.
Wow.
I
Why
also
is that?
don't pay it.
Oh, okay, so you just have like an arrangement worked out where like no one's paying child
No,
support.
one of them is on child support and doesn't pay it.
Oh.
Hasn't paid it
And then-
ever.
So you'd have to call them up and be like, they're not
Well, I
paying it.
paid 2 payments because we had gotten back together. So I like paid myself so that it didn't like
reflect
on him. And then after that, when we didn't, I tried to drop the case, but they told me no.
Oh my gosh. Do you ever talk about the reason for your divorce? I don't want to get too personal.
Oh, I don't give.
Okay. I know.
Do you know-
really are so open, and it's actually shocking. And I'm very open. I'm always like, wow, she really does.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about anything. No, there was a lot. I think there was a lot of controlling. I also think that we got married too young. I was 20 and he was 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's in the military at the time.
Yeah. No, he's still in the military.
Oh, career military. Wow.
Yeah, career military. And it was just a lot. We were really young. He was controlling me. I probably was controlling him. I felt like once I went to college to get my 4-year degree, I was like, wow, there's other fish in the sea kind of thing. And I was like, I feel like I was too young.
Yeah.
And, I probably would give the same advice to my kids is like, you can be in these relationships, but like maybe wait for the marriage part of it, because we did not even know what marriage was and we were doing it. And I feel like it was just too soon. I do, and I have said this before, is like if we got married later on in life, I think that we would have had a higher chance of being successful in our marriage.
Yeah.
But we're different people now. And, I wish him the best and I hope the best for him.
I do think that's interesting because you do change so much in your 20s. Just as a person, I wasn't married, but as a person, I'm a different person. So, you just grow out of each other. Like, yeah. Interesting. I think that's good advice. It is, I don't know. I've always wanted to be married at a young age, but it is probably good advice to wait. I
mean, young, I feel like 20s is still young, but 19, 20 is probably, it didn't work for us. So I'm, do whatever. Do what you want. Whatever.
I love that. How did you break, I guess, like the generational, like with your, like, how did you not turn into your mom, basically?
I feel like I did.
Really? At what point?
I have 4 baby daddies.
Oh, interesting.
My mom had like 7 husbands.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And why? That's so interesting. You think you fell down the path of like just wanting to be in love, just wanting to be taken care of because you didn't have that? Like you didn't know your dad until you were 17.
Wow, that's a good question.
Daddy issues. People say they have.
The difference, I think I repeated the same, like, I hate to call it like a revolving door, but sort of like a revolving door of men, right? I think because that's what I was shown, that's what I grew up with. I didn't know any different. However, I think that the difference where the difference is that I leave when I'm unhappy. My mom stayed because she didn't have a choice. She couldn't pay her bills. She didn't have, she needed it for survival, where I'm like, okay, I'm not staying because I'm not happy, but I just like move. I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know.
What about the storylines? I think it was like, maybe it was insinuated that you like cheated on.
I didn't. Wait,
you never cheated.
On who?
I think there was a couple moments where people assumed you cheated on Javi when he was gone.
Okay, so let me clarify. I had filed for divorce.
Okay.
So could I see why that was considered cheating? Yes, because we were not legally divorced.
I see.
He did the same thing. Didn't know that. Nobody knew that because on Teen Mom, the way that he portrayed it was that I was cheating and that he wasn't. Well, later I found out through marriage boot camp when we took lie detector tests, he was actually doing the same thing, even though we were legally separated.
Oh, did he lie on the show? Did he lie in the lie detector test?
Yes.
And they're like, that's a lie?
I didn't want to ask him that question. And they were like, no, we're actually going to ask the question, did he cheat? Because I guess they found out that like that was one of the, I don't know, points of contention. And so it all came out that he was doing the same thing, but like none of that was airing on Teen Mom or in the social media world. And so I found out and I was like, what the like you're out here making people think that I cheated on you. And like, for sure, like I ended up getting with Chris and like getting pregnant and he had to sign off that he wasn't the father of Lux because I wasn't legally divorced for 365 days. And so like, it was a lot of drama.
Oh, was that all aired on the show?
I don't know. I don't remember. I like disassociated from any. So like you could tell me that you saw something on Teen Mom and I'll believe you. Like I have no idea.
You don't have like recollections from.
I try not to. Like I know some things obviously, but some things I'm like, was that on Teen Mom? I have no idea.
The disassociating. What is that from? Do you think? Do you think it's like just like a trauma response? Is it like a personality disorder? Like
both. I'm sure it's both because I don't know. When I hear stories from your childhood, I'm like, oh, we're the same. Like we're the same person.
It's so interesting because like the same traumas is like brought up in different ways, but yeah, same kind of like trauma responses and triggers. It is very that. That's why I was so curious because I never bounced relationship only because there was no one interested in me, but I would have for sure.
No, don't get it twisted. These people were not interested in me.
Well, at least you were like living with them. I never lived with anyone before Moses, but I wanted to.
No,
I was
but that's
desperate.
good though.
I was desperate. I would have lived with anybody. Nobody wanted to live with me.
No.
So I watched you and I was like, damn, girl. I always think it's a little bit of a flex. I was like, wow, look at all these guys into her. You know what I mean?
But are they into me? I don't.
They had babies with you. I don't know. No, you
Well,
know.
tell them that when they get mad at me because I'm like, wait.
But it's also coming from a warped person, so I don't know. In my head, I'm like, okay, slay. You know what I mean? That's kind of impressive, but it's mostly because, I just never had anyone interested in me, and I wanted that so bad. But I probably would have been the same way, where in the sense I've also clung to relationships and guys because I just didn't really have – I knew my dad, but obviously we just weren't close. I saw him like once a year or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just had that sort of – so that's why I wondered if that's why you want to be in a relationship, to be like felt taken care of, you know?
Well, people have daddy issues. Like, I know your song, Daddy Issues,
Yes.
but I also had mommy issues. I had both.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So how did that reflect, you think, in your relationships?
Wow.
Or just at all? Like, when did it come up in life where you're like, I wish I had a mom that was stable. This wouldn't have been happening.
Yeah, literally. Every time I'm like, damn, if I had a mom, that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. Same way that daddy, having daddy issues, I think that my mom, the revolving door, like I always was like, oh, can I call you dad? Like that was like the thing. So, but also my mom wasn't present either. So she was negligent, neglectful, never home, things like that. So I don't know.
So you're like not getting fed, right? You said you went to your uncle's house to look for food. So she's like leaving you days at a time without food?
Yeah. Oh, she just left me days at a time, period. Not even just like without food. It was like, figure it out, like get on the bus, figure it out, like that.
How did you do that by yourself?
I think when you don't have a choice, like that's all you do. That's all you know. I actually didn't remember the walking to my uncle's house to ask for food until my aunt told me. Like she reminded me after I published my book. I didn't include it in my book because I didn't remember it when she told me this. It like triggered a memory that I was like, okay, I remember exactly where I was. I remember walking down the house and I was like, wow, like how much happened that I don't remember.
Yes. And I think that's the scary thing. And that's very much me when I go to therapy and I'm all of a sudden memories get unlocked where I'm like, I don't remember. People ask me about my childhood all the time. I'm like, I don't remember. I just don't because that's the same thing. I dissociate. And then when you start talking about things and you have like flashes, you're just like, holy shit. Like it's scary.
So weird, scary.
Yeah. And to like also not remember your childhood because of that. I mean, it's so interesting because it's something that's quite common. Like, it's something I hear a lot.
What is it called? Repressed memory.
Yeah, repressed memory, where people just don't know. Because so many people who have sat in that chair, too, like so many girls that are on, like, TikTok and stuff, have the same thing, where they won't remember stuff, until something clicks, something happens, you're like, oh, my gosh, or someone tells you a story.
Or, like, a smell.
Yes.
Have you ever had that? When you're, like, you smell... What triggers that? What is...
when I smell gasoline, there's a whole, like, thing to it. But for me... We both had a similar experience too. I was kidnapped as an adult, so I don't know if maybe that's being abducted. I
was a child.
Right. So that's a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was abducted as an adult and I didn't really realize it was like abduction, but it was the gasoline. When I smelled the gasoline, and it's a very like vivid memory, and it's like something that I didn't remember until I would smell gasoline now. And I was like, why does this like trigger me so much? Like it would honestly make me want to like rip my hair out or like hurt myself or something. It was so interesting. So certain smells will be like, oh, I do remember that now. And I did it for so long. I was like, I kind of remember, kind of not. And then it's like, oh, I know why. What's a smell from you that, not that I don't want to trigger you.
No, I'm trying to think of like one specifically. It's mainly like I feel like perfumes and colognes from people in my childhood. And I also feel like I romanticize and I don't know what the word is, where I basically make someone more important in my life than I was in their life because of what they did in my childhood in like a positive way. So like to me, I had this friend that I lived with for a long time in high school. And like to me, she'll always be like my best friend. And I don't know how to describe like what I'm thinking of, but like her and her family have no idea what they did for me as a child. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I do that a lot. It's like I guess romanticize.
Yeah. like make someone so much more important
than what I was to them.
Oh, yeah, that's so interesting. I think that's probably also common too, right? Because people just do stuff to be nice. You know, they're kind people or whatever, and they don't realize like the impact. Have you ever told them? You're like, oh no, you like saved my life.
Well, one of them's on heroin now, so like I couldn't tell her, so it's like weird.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
She went on drugs.
Oh.
Yeah, so she does ask me for money pretty weekly, like on a weekly basis, and I do, like I will give it to her sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, it's so weird with like drugs and stuff because it's like I know that I'm giving this to you in hopes that you're gonna go buy food with it, but like whatever you end up buying with it is like not my business.
Yeah.
But it's like my way of like paying her back for like taking me in high school for 2 years. You know what I mean?
Wow, it's 2 years. So they're like feeding you and stuff. Her family's
Oh my God, yeah, took me everywhere, like everywhere, bought me clothes, the whole nine. Yeah,
it's kind of amazing. It's actually amazing that people are like that out there, which is good.
Yeah.
You having 7 kids, would you ever do that for one of your?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
100%. If one of my kids needed, you know, their friends needed something, just because I've been there.
Yeah.
And you just feel displaced. You feel like you don't belong anywhere. And I think that's where a lot of my insecurities, even to this day, come from.
Right.
Not having a place.
I mean, I can't even imagine as a kid to like not to be hungry and like not know where to get food and stuff. That sounds.
Well, so Steve across the street, he owned this like corner store. It's like a little deli. He used to like give me snacks. I'd like bring pennies to him and he'd be like, all right, just pay me back later. And I never did. But he like gave me snacks. So that was nice of him. Yeah. I think he died, but shout out. Rest in peace.
That's what they always say too. If you see like people at the store stealing like food, just like look
Let
away.
them.
Yeah.
Diapers, anything like that. I'm like, I'm never like, I'm not the one.
No, for sure. I think that too. I mean, like.
Wait, I saw your TikTok where you like put money and stuff at Target, like the diapers and stuff, like specifically down the mom aisle. And I was like, oh my God, if we have time, we need to go do that.
Yeah, that's a big trend on. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. It's like a huge trend on
you're the
TikTok.
first person that I saw.
Really?
That. Yeah, but I was like, okay, I brought cash just in case.
Yeah, I love to do that. Although it is kind of backfiring now. People are ripping into the diapers trying to look for the money. I know.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's annoying. So I posted it like the day after, hoping because we have a lot of high schoolers, so I like didn't want people to like go to the Target and get it. But I guess people are like ripping the boxes open and stuff now. Hopefully, I think in general,
you had good
people,
intentions.
Yeah, but I think in general people aren't doing that. I think it's just it's sad.
We're doing our best.
Yes, formula is $50 for formula, and it lasts
and I have
a week.
twins.
Are you doing formula with them?
Yeah.
Have you ever breastfed?
Yeah, all of them except for Rio. Well, no, I breastfed. Did I breastfed Rio? Okay, so I did mostly formula for Rio, and then the twins. I wasn't even going to try to breastfeed the twins. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I just wasn't going to do it.
Were you getting up with them at night to do all the feedings?
Yeah, and they were we just put them in their own room like 2 weeks ago. Not like last week.
Oh yeah, both of our kids are still in our room.
Yeah, it's just easier that way. But there was just no way. I also had just come off like a huge, crazy year of depression, like wanting to like go horizontal, you know what I mean? And so I was like, I can't breastfeed. You know what I mean? Like I just thought it was going to be a horrible idea.
Because how many months postpartum did you get pregnant from?
4.
Wow.
So.
And did you have postpartum depression at all through any of your pregnancies?
Yeah, I think I was like, so right after Isaac, which also they didn't show on Teen Mom, I was like sleeping on the floor in his nursery and like Joe's dad was like, you need to shower and get the out of this room. I mean, he didn't say
right.
But he was like, you need to like come out of the house a little bit. And I just like wasn't having it. I think it was more so like baby blues, I would say.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then I think Lincoln I was fine. Lux I was probably fine. Creed I was not fine. I was very not fine for him. That was number 4. And then once I started to feel like myself again, I got pregnant. That pregnancy was rough. Like I remember having to come out to LA during that pregnancy. I think I did 14 interviews in like 3 or 4 days because I was like, I need to bang this out because I'm not well to do podcasting. Like,
oh, for your podcast you did?
Yeah.
Oh my, well that's like kind of an amazing work ethic, the fact that you were like going through it and you're like, I have to get these done.
I didn't have a choice.
Were you under contract?
Well, no, but I was like, I have to work. Like I have to make money.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Get
it.
Yeah,
you have to like get back.
And then the twins I wasn't as, I don't know if it was because I got pregnant back to back or what, but I sort of balanced out. And so that's when I was like, I've never been better.
Yeah, you look amazing. You sound amazing. And I was like, wow, 9 months. Do you think it's because like you have more support now or you're just older or? I
think being older, 4.5 years of therapy and also having a supportive partner changes everything.
Big difference.
Yeah, like it's just not toxic. Like if anything, I was the toxic one.
Again, the self-awareness is real. You know what I mean? I think that's good. And I think you put a lot more blame, and I think it's like normal because you just want people to know, but I think you put a lot more blame on yourself and don't share it as much because it's usually 2. If it's a toxic relationship, it's usually like 2 people that are toxic.
For sure.
And I am always the one to be like, I'm toxic too, but like it's usually like a 2-part thing and the guys never can admit to being toxic. So Elijah, your first non-toxic relationship?
I would say so.
No, you guys, no fighting?
No. Like, he just
Amazing.
doesn't fight. He's like a 45-year-old man stuck in a 26-year-old body. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Yeah.
What's his sign?
He's a Cancer.
Oh, so he's like sensitive. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And how did and you guys met because of the neighbors? And then how quickly you got pregnant?
The first time.
And then you're like, we're gonna start dating.
Yeah. I was like, well, now we have to date, right? Because we're like pregnant. And he was like, okay.
Wow, and so he was just down. He was like ready to be a dad.
Yeah. No, he was so ready. He was been very cool, very supportive, very just like go with the flow.
And he's supportive of everything you do out here. Like when you come to LA.
Yeah. He was so supportive. I mean, he's great. He's so great. He's a lot like Moses, I feel.
Yeah, Moses is the best too. He's like, we never fight. I know people are like, it's part of a relationship. And I'm like, we've never fought. And I fought in every relationship I had before.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, I have fought with Elijah, but
Not
it's like normal
crazy.
fights. It's not about cheating. It's not about dishonesty. It's not about anything like that. It's like communication. Like, hey, like you didn't tell me you had this appointment and I also have an appointment. Like just little like that.
Miscommunication.
Yeah. Like nothing major, but wow, that's incredible.
Well, I guess we fought. He doesn't want to wear wigs for Halloween. He wants to wear his normal hair.
Got it.
And
Okay.
I was like, we're doing Bridgerton. You don't look like Bridgerton. Like, you need the hair. And he's like, no, I don't want to wear wigs.
I don't know. I feel like that's grounds for divorce, but
That's how I am. I'm like, he never, ever disagrees or argues with anything. And I was just like, and I'd been so annoyed by it.
yeah, it's like sometimes you do need them to fight back. Just a little. Just wear the freaking wig.
I know. I'm just like, wait. I know. So that's been our only point of contention. But I mean, it has been good. But it wasn't always like that. When we first met, it was actually a lot more rocky. And then now we're like perfect. But when we met, it was a little rocky. It was different. But I was doing like OF. Did you ever do OF?
I did.
Did you show anything or was it like bikini?
I think I did the private messenger situation.
Where you would would you send nudes?
Yeah.
Were you charging per message?
I think so. I don't really remember. It was during
Quarantine?
yeah, and I was pregnant, so they were old nudes. They weren't like
so smart.
fresh. They weren't fresh.
Resourceful.
Yeah, I was like, let me
I had
reuse these really
these.
quick. I only made a couple $1,000s because I didn't really go big with it, but I'm not against it by any means. Like I fully support that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know Tyler gets a lot of hate for doing his OF.
Yeah.
They're all like, well, that's why Carly doesn't want to see you or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Wait, they can't see Carly because of the only.
well, that's what the comments are saying.
Oh, okay.
No, I think, I
Would
don't
you
know.
support Moses doing that?
Yeah, of course, because I did it. But he's because I met him when I was doing it, and he was so against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like against it. He's just like, because I was doing it with other people.
Okay.
So I think he was just like, oh, I don't want to like obviously date you.
Wait, so were you having sex?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that you could do that.
On only.
Yeah, I thought it was just pictures. Okay.
It's like a full on.
Oh, it's but you know what?
Yeah.
I heard this, and I don't know if this is true or not. You might know. I didn't mean that offensively, but like.
I do not take offense to anything at all either.
Me neither.
Okay.
So I was just like,
Yeah. No.
I heard that like porn sites are really not ethical. So at least if it's only, it's like you're choosing that, right?
Yeah, you get all the money. Like no one's telling you what to do. No, everything's you. You get to decide who you do with what and when. And
Do you know who Tara's World is?
yes, why do I know this? Tara's World. Oh, is she like a TikToker?
Yeah, but she's also on
Yes.
OnlyFans. I love her. Like
Love
I just
her
love
too.
her content.
Is her name like Tara Lynn or something on TikTok? Yeah.
I thought it was just Tara's World.
Maybe it's Tara's World. I don't know. I do know who
so
you're talking about.
I asked her to come on my podcast, and she was like not responding or whatever. She just left me on. I don't think she read it. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
And she went on somebody else's podcast, and they were like really mean to her. And I think that's why she probably has a bad taste in her mouth. But I'm like, no, like low key, like I sort of need these tips because if I ever do want to go back to OnlyFans, like I need to know. But I didn't know that I thought it was just pictures, like photo shoots.
Oh, well, you can do whatever you want. You can. Some people just do like clothed photos on there. But I was doing like at 32, I was your age. I was like, I think I'm going to be a star. Like
Wow.
that sounded like
How was that? How did it go?
I loved it. I did it for like 4 months, and I think I made more money than I ever had in my entire life.
Shut
so
up.
It was. That's why I wondered if you did, because I remember it was like a huge thing, and I think I made like $1 million the first month. And I was just like, never made that before, because I was also a spender. I just spent all my money, so I finally was able to buy a house after that. Those people are gonna be like, wow, they ended abruptly. But don't worry, you guys. We're on a tight schedule because we're doing a pod swap. We're going to Kail's podcast next. The name of this one is
Barely Famous.
This is the Barely Famous one.
Yes.
Love the name, by the way.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Kristen named it.
It's so good. I
Yeah,
love it.
thank you.
We're going to the Barely Famous and relatable, actually, Barely Famous podcast. So, guys, check it out over there. Kail, Lowry, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is so fun. I could
Yeah.
talk to you for 5 more hours, but
Sweet buns.
we will. Yeah, sweet buns. See you guys in the next one. Bye.